Well, the other thing we'll have to keep an eye on as well is that the GRIDLIFE GT cars are all carrying Firelinks. Of course, Firelap's the official data provider for GRIDLIFE GT. We'll get a look at some live information, sector times, maximum and minimum corner speeds, speed trap at turn 6, and then of course some G-forces, both longitudinal and lateral, looking at braking forces and cornering forces here in the GRIDLIFE GT field.
Yeah, the more data we can get, the better, and we saw some crazy information coming out of that, whether that is the G-force are getting around the corners, how they're breaking into some of the different sectors here, as well as a lot of different timing. We found out really early on that just because you are the fastest doesn't mean you are the fastest in every single sector. So that will hopefully lead to some good passing chances between a few of these vehicles and a lot of different setup choices as well as vehicle choices in both grids.
On the timing and scoring tower, you're going to see purple numbers on the top half of the ticker and red numbers on the bottom. The purple is the GRIDLIFE GT field. The red is the Eibach GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Championship. Here we go. Green flag and multi-class racing in GRIDLIFE is underway in WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Hans Horpedal out-dragging Chris DeLucia down to the Andretti hairpin to take the green flag. Scafuto and the Camaro defending. Colin King behind him had to replace a part after qualifying, so he dropped down the order a little ways. They make their way through the Andretti hairpin. All the while, the Eibach GLTC cars are coming to the green as well.
Yeah, we already got some crazy action. I think we saw 3 wide between our competitors coming out of 2, and now we get the green flag on TC, and who's going to get the drag race down to 1?
Oh boy, Matana Rosenberg going to the inside. That's not going to work. A little bit of a touch there to the inside of Justin Ross. 3 abreast into turn 1 as Rodriguez on the outside trying to make it work into the Andretti hairpin. There's still 3 abreast as the GT field stretches out. The TC cars still well underway into turn number 3 and 4, and I think we got through without incident. We have. That was spicy.
Yeah, and it looks like GT having a little bit of a shuffle, but nothing too crazy, as now TC starting to figure out what this grid is going to look like through our first lap. We're still seeing a lot of wheel-on-wheel. Saw a bit of brake smoke coming up, or wheel smoke coming up from somebody, because now we get a few hard chargers trying to take over that lead spot from McGuigan.
Yeah, down into turn 5 now and looking pretty aggressive into that corner, but we've got it strung out. Looked like Matan Rosenberg wasn't able to wrestle the lead away from the 272 of Ross. The 63 plunges down the hill now. The Nissan 350Z of Bright, Stephen Bright, and then look at this, the Toyo Tires, Lexus IS, Geraldo chasing Jonathan Lugat in that supercharged Del Sol.
Yeah, this is a big shuffle through TC. We got such an extensive grid there. We can already see some of the passing going on into the corkscrew. Then we got 2 abreast all the way through there, and that Z getting a little bit wild coming through the exit on the corkscrew. Our FDRX7 popping off flames as per usual. Yeah, this is tight racing all the way through every corner.
Yeah, Lugat on the outside of Geraldo there. Nice space left between each other. That's the expectation here in both Eibach GLTC and GRIDLIFE GT. You have to leave space for the car next to you to coexist. There's Peter Zhang right behind his teammate Azmat Muhammad in that orange and blue Turn-In Concepts MR2. Lap 1 complete. Horpedal leads GRIDLIFE GT, DeLucia second, and then Ross, McGuigan, Hilo, Rosenberg, your top 4 in Eibach GLTC.
Yeah, getting a big shuffle on the pointy end of GLTC pretty early on that first lap, and as we can tell with the pace starting to stretch out now, it's only going to shuffle a little bit more. Both of our Corvettes getting pretty wide track limits, not something that we're
Colin
paying into.
Inside of turn 6, that's tough math, and you can't make it stick there. He dove up the inside, had to bail out, but look at this, max speed on lap 1, 117 miles an hour for Colin King, so he's got that thing tuned up. It was quicker than Horpedal and DeLucia last time by as far as top speeds are concerned.
Yeah, pretty close though. We're talking, I mean, a fraction of a mile there between King and Horpedal, so really it's that minimum speed. Horpedal dropping over a mile an hour, and that allows King to stretch things out just a little bit more.
And right behind, of course, we've got Scafuto in the 87. That's the Camaro, but Lasovsky in that red Corvette, that's the number 76. That's dropped to 4th place now. And for the lead, Hans Horpedal has got DeLucia all over the back of him as they come up onto the front straightaway. Very different designs on how to go fast, C5 Ed versus E36 BMW.
Yeah, we'll see if we get a bit of a dive there from DeLucia to see if he can. He's going a little bit wider in. Is he going to try and feed things in? Catch the inside coming out of 2, as now we flip back to our TC coming through the corkscrew, and things lining up pretty nicely now.
There's Lugod chasing a couple of cars here as we go back up to the front of Eibach GLTC. You see the sector times there from the top three. Each of those top three drivers best in one of the individual sectors. Here comes Matan Rosenberg trying to get by. I think that's McGuigan that he's trying to work his way by, and indeed it is. He's gotten by Hilo, and now McGuigan should put him up to second place, I want to say now. Unless, yeah, that must be. Unless that was Friesen in the 132. No, it is. It was McGuigan there. So he's up to second place in the Falcon and Eibach Chevrolet Corvette.
Interesting to see that Rob Tarkovsky down in last place now. Spence able to bump up that 911, dropping back pretty heavily. Had a pretty good start. So curious if maybe a corner went a little bit wrong there, dropping him further back in the pack.
Oh man, a lot of pressure on the front right now. Two Corvettes making an E36 sandwich. DeLucia, big slide coming down the hill.
Man, and this shows you when we get into the wheels type of things, you're trying to look for every advantage that you can. You might take a corner a bit crazier just to try and see if you can get that advantage, and that's what we saw there.
DeLucia throttling up on Hans Horpedal. Where do you go now? Turn 11, braking duel here. We'll see who's better on the brakes.
Yeah, we've already seen that Horpedal in the Corvette able to get that front line or that straight line speed coming through this section. I'm not sure if DeLucia has got the exit he's looking for, but King now hunting him down. And we're getting a straight line speed race again with the Corvette and a BMW, but now King going for that pass.
Yeah, Colin King's going to go up to second place following Hilo. Now fourth place. He's got pressure from Friesen right behind him in the 132. And then the 19 car of Abdul Azmani. That's the green M3 chasing him down the hill. Rodriguez right behind. He's been mighty fast as well. A lot of BMW M3 E46 machinery here with rear wings. They look all very spec, even though they're pretty unique builds. They're on their own.
Yeah, it's crazy the stretch out that we're getting here. And now it looks like, yeah, King's still holding on to that spot. Now we see the rest of the TC group starting to come through, and probably see a few more changes in position here, but everyone kind of finding their pace for the rest of this race.
Have a look at that GLGT Firelink information. Chris DeLucia, 85 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour quicker than everybody else in that front three battle last time around. So that's where he's better, but losing on the straights. And he's got Lasovsky in that red Corvette now chasing him down, the C6 generation car.
Yeah, this is definitely a crazy set of battles here.
And is that C6 or C5?
Let's go with C6. I like it.
See, it looks like a C5, maybe my mistake there. But down the hill there, through Rainy Curve, watching the curb on the inside, and DeLucia just fighting an uphill battle, I think, on that front straightaway. Got a big rear wing on that thing. Might have a little too much downforce put in it.
Yeah, he's picking up a lot of pace throughout the corners, but you can see with that drag race he's had with two Corvettes now down the front straight. He's just not able to keep up.
Here's your championship runner-up right now, Matan Rosenberg, a long ways back from Justin Ross. You see that pink and blue M3 up the road. Rosenberg is 2 points behind Eric Catil in the championship. Catil did not make the trip out here, so all Rosenberg can do, a little smoke out the left front there on those Falcon RT 660s as he compressed the car, but all he can do is hope to win some races and potentially keep Catil at bay when they go to pit race, but he really would like to win. A second place all weekend long, I don't think is going to do what he needs.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Might be able to pick up some of the time in the front straight. We've seen just how fast the Corvettes, and not having that giant wing to drag him down like we see in some of the GT class. Maybe he can start to pick up a bit of time through there, but as of right now, it's looking like a pretty big gap to Ross.
Justin Ross just ran his best lap of the race, I think. So well done there. Rosenberg across the stripe now. McGuigan, Hilo, Friesen, your top five. And again, I've been very impressed with Joe McGuigan in that silver M3 behind him, a name that I hadn't heard before because I don't think he's run with us before. A little bit of lap traffic for the GRIDLIFE GT leaders. And there's actually Horpedal now second. Looks like Colin King's gotten around for the race lead.
Yeah, wow. I mean, King really charging things up and doing an amazing job of coming through that field.
And look at the braking forces there on lap 4. Colin King out-braking Hans Horpedal, but DeLucia better on the brakes than both of them, just sitting there waiting and lurking in third place to see if Horpedal will come back to him. And this time, look at the cornering force. DeLucia, again, maybe just too much downforce put in this car, I think. He's maybe trading downforce for speed. King almost off the course at 11.
Yeah, for DeLucia, he's got to start making it up, and you're not going to do well through these drag race sections, so it's going to be some of the dives like into the hairpin where he's going to make that up, and maybe some of the quicker corners through 5 and 6 if he can keep doing what he's been doing and hope that there's some sort of mistake from King. He might be able to make up some of those places again.
Leaving the Andretti hairpin now in GRIDLIFE GT, it's been really these front three, King, Horpedal, and DeLucia battling. Justin Ross has sort of lit the afterburners on Rosenberg. Wow, Hans Horpedal really sideways there, leaving turn 3 as the defense on full display here.
Yeah, but for DeLucia, that's exactly what you're hoping for, is that Horpedal has some sort of uncharacteristic mistake in a slower section where he's got that grip. We've seen the G-force, we've seen the braking he's able to get out of the car. So can he use that to his advantage, and can he just wait for some sort of mistake from Horpedal or potentially even King to be able to kind of dive back into the top 1 or 2 spots?
There's King leading the way through turn 6. One of our winners here in past Road America and recently at Autobahn Country Club.
Yeah, what a charge up from 8th place for King. That is incredible. So showing that qualifying wasn't where he was the strongest and didn't get the laps that he wanted, but now hopefully trying to stretch his legs as that gap continues. So this is going to be interesting, and that battle for 2nd and 3rd is really interesting as King is, I mean, he is really, really getting out there.
He is. I know Horpedal and DeLucia are battling for position. There's your leader in Eibach GLTC. And Justin Ross, a little wide there, no worries, no track limits being enforced this weekend. All the pavement is fair game, and he has just gone over Matan Rosenberg. But Rosenberg's been keeping pace with him now, about 2.3 seconds behind, and this race is not over yet by any stretch. So again, if you're Eric Catil, don't get your hopes up just yet. There's still some races left to go.
Well, I've seen a lot of drivers have interesting mistakes throughout this track, and as you get into some of these downhill, these compression sections, it doesn't take much. Just missing braking by 1/100 of a second can mean you're out in the gravel, and even, you know, you get a little bit relaxed out in the lead. Maybe you make a concession on a corner that you shouldn't, and next thing you know, you're finding yourself pointing the wrong way down the track.
Yeah, I see Justin Ross there, 2/10 slower than Rosenberg last, as far as their best lap is concerned. Using all the racetrack at the exit of 11. Rosenberg's going to do exactly that. McGuigan still hanging on to 3rd. Hilo in 4th. Friesen in 5th as they start a little bit deeper in the field there as they come up onto the front straightaway and head down the hill towards the Andretti hairpin. Yeah,
definitely a little bit more of a stretch, and Rosenberg's day is going to feel a little bit longer as he's seeing Ross continue that at a 2.5 second lead at this point in time, as now we flip back up to our uphill. And take a look at DeLucia there, still trying to fight to get around Horpedal.
Yeah, he's keeping pace a little better. How about a look here?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, up the inside at Rainy Curve, and he's still down on straight line speed, but making it work in the high downforce corners. And his min speed, the highest of the top 3. Really cool to see on the data that all those things that we're saying about DeLucia's car being a better handling car, maybe not in a straight line as strong, but that's showing up here on the Firelink data.
Yeah, it's always great when the data makes us look good, isn't it? So, I mean, really, for DeLucia, he's got to pick his spot. Looked like he was going to go for it on the Rainy corner, backed out of it, thought he might have gone for a switchback at the next turn, but ultimately now he's got to hold back as Horpedal continues to stretch his legs and pick up around 8/10 on that straigaway. That's a big gap.
And lap traffic now. This is what we were talking about at the top of the show. The GridLife GT cars have caught some of the Eibach GLTC traffic, and Josh Fleur is one of those in the Subaru Outback just up the road. A really cool looking car. I see the kind of the neon yellow accents, but this is now the first test as Colin King took a look at him but didn't have overlap. The same rules apply. You can't dive bomb from 10 car lengths back. But look at how much that allowed DeLucia to close in on Horpedal there.
This is exactly what DeLucia was kind of hoping for. This, oh no, we've seen a lot of smoke at the back.
And that's might be a motor for DeLucia. That's a huge plume of smoke. And he's off to the left, is going to go for the dirt immediately. And that is heartbreak for Chris DeLucia all the way from the state of New York. And he has found his way off course, which is as safe as a place as he can possibly be. And watch this coming up the straightaway just a moment ago.
I'm wondering if some of that pace that he was losing was that engine kind of indicating that things were not going well. And finally, it lets go. Oh, that is absolutely gut-wrenching. So, yeah, I mean, that's just a lot of coolant smoke coming out of that, or water smoke, steam in this case. So hopefully nothing that's going to be absolutely detrimental, needing a new block, you know, fingers crossed, just a head gasket or something, but either way, that's going to be the end of his race.
So here's something we got to keep our eyes on as well, because Justin Ross is actually catching the back of the GridLife GT field. This is another thing that we were expecting to see. They're up the, oh, trouble, there's another car that's found his way off track and into the concrete, and trying to get a look at where that is on course. I'm wondering, is that on the, where is this? This is on the front. Oh, sorry, this is right underneath us here. This is after the Andretti hairpin.
Okay. Yeah, car was backwards.
Wow, that's a weird spot to go off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really strange. I wonder, maybe dipped a wheel out a little bit too much, gets caught in it and spins back around. And I mean, we talked about this earlier on, facing the wrong way up the course, and not entirely sure what all went down for that driver.
And so have we gotten the checkered? It looks like we have gotten a checkered, but again, that's a big hit, unfortunately. And look, that car has nosed in.
Car of John Friesen, I believe, in the 132. So yeah, interesting how he slid in there, and just looking at the wheel marks, trying to figure out how this all went down. So we get a replay of it now.
So he was up underneath some traffic here. Oh, gets clipped by the CRX. And then it took out the rear suspension, and it just walked around on him from there.
Yeah, great work from the other competitors to stay out of the way. Oh, that's he's going to feel that one a little bit later on. Laguna Seca biting back again.
Yeah, that's the 132 car of John Friesen. He was up inside the top 5 for most of the race. And that explains how he got it looped around backwards. Just the rear suspension looked like it took the hit there. And that's going to bring out the checker on our first race in GRIDLIFE GT and Eibach GLTC.
Another weekend just proving that anything can happen when it comes to racing. So whether it's a bit of contact coming in a little bit hot through the inside, or an engine just finally deciding enough is enough. But either way, we get a bit of a shake-up here through our ranks, as these drivers are going to be wrapping things up under the yellow. And a few drivers are going to need an assist getting off track.
Others saw that.
So that will end the race here with, it should be Colin King out in front of GRIDLIFE GT and Justin Ross in the Eibach GLTC race.
I mean, definitely an interesting pairing up now that we've got TC and GT both together. We saw a little bit of that traffic, maybe not as much as what we were maybe expecting.
Well, we'll actually get a chance to talk with our winners here in just a moment's time. Colin King in the GRIDLIFE GT Viking Performance Corvette getting the job done, passing not only Chris DeLucia, who ended up having that engine issue, but also Hans Horpedal. And let's head down to Jonathan Grace, who's there with Colin King.
So our winner in race 1, Colin King, you made some moves in the first couple of laps. You were methodical with it, but you got the purple Corvette up to the front. How'd you do it?
Well, I mean, like, I got DQ'd during the qualifying, unfortunately, due to some confusion with the tech forms and all that, but got my way from the back all the way to the front. I knew the car could do it. We were making changes, working on it hard, and barely made it back here in time, and just glad I could get it done. So,
heck of a way to start the weekend with a win. Still a couple more to come. That's Colin King, your winner in GLGT, guys.
Thank you, Jonathan, and that was a great battle there by Colin King. Did a nice job, and of course, the driver that beat Matan Rosenberg last year did it again just now. That was the number 272 of Justin Ross. We're going to head down to Jonathan Grace one more time, and we'll chat with our Eibach GLTC winner here in just a moment. Here we go, Jonathan. What you got?
Justin Ross, your winner in Eibach GLTC, converted a pole position to a win. It looked comfortable, but how was it in the car?
It was a tough go. It was really hectic at the start. I'm lower horsepower than everybody else around me, and that was pretty evident down into turn 2. And then we're going to work on some little things with GLGT, coming through the back of them. Otherwise, the car did good. This is an enduro car, so it usually finishes pretty strong, and we have a little bit of hard time getting it up to pace at the beginning of the race, but I mean, it all went pretty well. So.
Well, congratulations on the win. It's a great way to start the weekend. Still a couple more to go for Justin Ross. A pull to win in GLTC, guys.
Thanks, Jonathan, and job well done there by Justin Ross. Let's have a look here at the highlights for what was a pretty frantic foray into multi-class racing. The interclass battles, though, seemed pretty clean from what we saw, and in 15 minutes, a lot of action. It started with the GRIDLIFE GT start. Hans Horpedal out-dragging Chris DeLucia down there to turn 1, but then Colin King pulling up in that Viking Performance Vet after narrowly making the race after replacing a part, but man, DeLucia trying everything he could to keep up with those vets.
Yeah, and unfortunately it did not go the way that he wanted to, but yeah, for me, really, GT class King was just all over it, making his way back up through the field, everything nice and tidy. And this battle here for Lucia, I mean, it looked like he had so many opportunities to be able to make that dive in, but unfortunately, this is how his race ended, with a plume of steam at the back of that BMW.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Chris DeLucia. Hans Horpedal, though, again, ended up in second place in that battle. As far as the Eibach GLTC race, though, it was Justin Ross on the front row, and McGuigan got squeezed there a little bit. Matan Rosenberg trying to make it 3 wide, and he ended up making his way up to second place past Hilo and McGuigan, and set sail to try to catch the 272, but just could not do it. So he ended up finishing in second, and he will not necessarily extend his lead or get the lead back yet from Eric Cattell in the championship, while Cattell sits in Ohio a long ways away. But Justin Ross, his second ever career win in Eibach GLTC. But of course, the race did end under yellow and checker with an incident at the exit of turn number 2. The Andretti hairpin, a little bit of car contact. Unfortunate ending to our first race of the weekend. More to come from GRIDLIFE GT and Eibach GLTC.